Welcome to Spiritual as Fuck,
Spiritual as Fuck,
a podcast where we explore everything outside of the ordinary. I'm Liz Volpe. I'm a social entrepreneur, now psychic medium, teacher and mentor, with a huge passion to inspire people to dream big and change the world.
I'm Diane Driscoll, a coach, facilitator and speaker. I'm also a psychic intuitive, learning to incorporate my spiritual gifts into my life and business.
We're here today to share real and raw spiritual stories. It's going to give you a safe space to challenge what's normal and have some serious fun along the way.
We hope you're ready to get spiritual as fuck. In this episode, we are pushing the boundaries of the Spiritual as Fuck podcast. This is the first time that we have done a live recording with a live online audience. And if that wasn't enough, we have live readings with the phenomenal, internationally acclaimed psychic medium, Collyns. Sean has been working as a professional medium since the young age of 18 years old and is now one of Australia's leading mediums. Not only does Sean connect people to the spirit world during private readings and his live stage shows, he also runs extensive programs that teach people how they can strengthen their spiritual abilities and their connection to the energetic realms. Sean is loved for his down-to-earth and light-hearted approach and respected for his remarkable ability. Sean joins us with an intimate group of our podcast listeners to talk about the afterlife and deliver the gift of some beautiful Christmas connections. Before we delve into the episode, Liz and I would love to wish our listeners in 72 countries the joy of connecting with loved ones in person and in spirit over the holiday season.
Okay, welcome everyone. Can you believe that there is only a few days to go before Santa visits? And as you can see, if you are watching on YouTube, we are already in the theme. And being Christmas, you know, Diane and I always love to really, think about you as our listeners and get you involved, firstly. And today we are doing something incredibly special. And just to kind of set the scene, we are not on our own this evening. We have obviously a special guest, but we also have over 20 of you right here with us. So we're going to give everyone an imaginary wave. They're all being very quiet in the background right now. Now, let's talk about Christmas. So Christmas is such a beautiful time, you know, so much fun, so much joy. Some of us spend time with our family and with our friends, and it really is that opportunity for us to come together. Yet for some of us that have lost somebody special, Christmas can also be a time of grief and of loss and of sad memories, that sadness of maybe not having the person next to you at the dinner table. So we wanted to give you a gift this Christmas, and we wanted to give some of our listeners the opportunity to have a Christmas connection with one of their loved ones in spirit. So when we came up with this idea, it was that instant intuitive drop in for me. There's this incredible young guy. He's somewhere up in the Gold Coast, and he is becoming so well known for his incredible gifts. So today I would like to welcome the incredible international psychic medium, Collyns. Welcome, Sean.
Thank you so much. What a beautiful introduction. I'm so happy and excited to be here.
Oh, and Merry Christmas, obviously.
Merry Christmas to each and every one of you.
Oh, well, Sean, we do speak to mediums quite often. We love anybody that works in that realm of being a psychic and mediumship and being able to connect. And in the past, we've always dived into people's journey. And I know for you, you discovered your gifts early. You're 15 years old, which that's pretty mind-blowing in itself. Yet we want to do something a little bit different today because it's Christmas. And we really want to dive into your thoughts on what happens when we leave this world. And I think maybe that's what I'm going to put to you first. You know, as a medium and having experiences where you are making connections with people in spirit, what do you believe? Like, what happens after death?
Starting off with a big one. I love it.
Yeah, right. Throw you in the deep end.
No, I love it. I love it. And as much as I feel like I'm so lucky to be able to see that process through the souls in the spirit world that I connect with all the time, it's something that we're never truly going to be able to understand and remember until we're going back there ourselves. Because everything that we are right now, we are like universal consciousness, expansive divinity that's shoved into this human form. And like we just can't possibly comprehend. But I know for sure that we all go back to peace. We all go back to that divine place that we're all born from. I know that we learn so much throughout that process, and that we're nurtured throughout our return to the spirit world by surrounding ourselves by something that we would have absolutely loved in this life. And we're met with all of our loved ones, all the animals, all the people that we've connected with throughout our life. And every person's journey back there is so different. Like, that's the amazing thing about being shown that process. They show it in such different ways every single time. So I really do feel like it's not a one size fits all. We all go into something that is of our own creation, in a sense. And that's why it is so beautiful and unique to each and every one of us. It's like a manifestation of our soul returning to its true home.
Oh, that's so beautiful, Sean. It's like I can feel my heart just expanding as you're saying that. Do you think, like, if it's a different experience for everyone, do you notice any themes in what comes through to you? Like, is there a difference between someone who dies maybe a little bit younger or older, someone who has a little bit more of a sudden death versus someone who may have a prolonged illness? Do you notice anything different in how you connect with spirit?
Well, yeah, there's a whole range. Like, I know that, for example, like someone who is passing with like Alzheimer's or dementia, where it's that slow process, the part of the body at which the soul is connected to is actually the same part that's causing the dementia. So it's almost like that soul is kind of halfway in and out, not truly present for that entire process, because their soul's already venturing. And you guys do readings as well. I'm sure you've noticed at times there's been people show up in the clearest way possible with all this valid information, but they're saying they're still here. And that's because they're one of those souls that's on their way out in that process. But my favorite one that I get shown a lot is like just a classic, beautiful old couple, people who spent their whole life together, and the one that's left here in their final days, and just knowing that they can see that like beautiful companion coming forward, standing with them, waiting with them, and then when that time comes, just reaching out their hand and taking them with them. And it's always different, but there's been so many times where I've been like showing them returning to like the moment where they first like fell in love with each other, like the younger versions of themselves dancing, or just like really special, beautiful memories. So I think we're all like nurtured and comforted by something that is familiar to us, and something that is guided by those souls that are hanging closest around us at that time as well.
Oh, wow. It's just that was just so beautiful. Wow. I just had kind of picture images, and sometimes I make connections as well, and I see, if they've loved dancing, I see them dancing, or I'm hearing music, and I just feel like, yeah, they do go to that place. And I guess for us, when we're left here, going through grief is so hard, and everyone goes through grief in so many different ways. What do you have to say to that, Sean? Like, what do you think about grief? Obviously, it's different for everyone. Do you have any advice or anything that you can maybe tell people that might make them feel better?
I think like grief is just something that you can't fight at all. There's no spiritual bypass. There's no fast way around it. You just have to allow yourself to feel it in the fullest and process it. But something that a lot of people deal with when they're grieving is, for like a couple of weeks after their loved one has passed, they'll experience all these incredible signs, all of these like messages coming to them, and then at some point those messages seem to go, or they don't seem to be as common or as frequent. And it's not that their loved one is not present with them and not trying to connect with them and trying to send messages to them, but it's that adjustment to that frequency of the spirit world is happening. And like they hang around because they know that we're grieving them. They want to show us, they want to help us throughout that healing process. So that's why in those first couple of weeks, like unbelievable things can happen. It's because their frequency is still kind of resonating more at a similar level to us, but it's inevitable that they're going to adjust over that time and start vibrating at that new frequency of the spirit world. And then we can't, in our state of grief, take ourselves into the right energy, into that higher frequency, to then receive those messages and communications again. So something that would help anyone who is grieving is to not think that when those messages stop or when they don't feel them around anymore, that they've gone anywhere, but to just know that you need to find the joyful memories and find the happiness in your heart and think of them in a way that brings you joy in order to be able to connect in with them. Because in that heaviness, in that really low state, which we all have to go through and all have to process, they just can't reach us in the same way. So it's really about trying to think of them in a way that just lifts up your spirits so that they can interact with you, because they can't. It's too far away from grief to the spirit world to be able to meet in the middle.
So you're saying really any type of stuff that we can do to bring our vibration and our frequency up, it makes it that little bit easier to see the sign, to get the message.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips on that, Sean? Any examples?
Well, I think you really do, especially in that time of grieving. Like there's not a part of you that wants to, like, you just don't have it in you at that time. So it is really hard, but if you can just find a way to make yourself smile, make yourself laugh, like frequency, it's all in emotion. We travel through frequency based on what our resonance is, and like heavier emotions, they vibrate at that lower frequency. So even if it's only momentarily that you can try and lift your spirits, you can try and think of them, remember what it's like to be around them, remember the way their love made you feel, remember those joyful emotions that you had throughout your connection to that person or that animal. It's going to allow these messages to be able to present themselves to you. And all it takes is like an openness. But if you're like, your mind is the most powerful thing. If you decide that you're not getting any messages from them, you're gonna prove yourself correct, because you're going to shut yourself off from being able to see them. And if you decide that they're not around anymore, then your own energy is not going to allow you to feel, see, or sense that they're around. So it's really about tricking yourself out of that, even if it's only momentarily, so that you can help yourself in that grieving process and healing process through that connection, remaining with them, but shifting into a new kind of relationship, a new dynamic. Like we don't have to, it's not the end of our relationship with our loved ones. And you guys don't need a person like a medium to maintain that relationship. I'm putting myself out of a job here. You can have that connection, that relationship yourself. And of course,
Liz always says that too, Sean, always. It's like, it's, you can do it. You can do this too. Can I ask just on that theme, because there is a particular person that's in mind for me that I had been grieving, like this is 19 years ago now, but when he passed, anytime that I would go to a medium, he would never come through. So, and I never felt his presence around me. So, and I feel presence around from a lot of people, but not this one particular person. And I'm sure I'm not the only person who has a question like this. But when it is someone like that, is there anything different that and now this was a friend, this is not a close family member. So, there's parts of me that thinks, okay, well, they've got so many people that they've got to visit or be there for. That was my old way of thinking. I don't think that way now. But is there anything that you can share for people that if they do have those moments where they're going to, so not just feeling the connection directly themselves, but they go to a medium and they don't get a message coming through, is there anything you can share there?
So you think anytime you go to a medium, they've got other bookings, they've got other things to do.
On the other line.
Something better to do. Sorry, not today.
At the supermarket.
I'm not here.
No, that's fine. Usually in those situations where it's a recurring thing for people that they try and initiate that connection to a medium and they never show up, it's because of their personality. And if that person is someone who thinks, I've got a direct connection to you and you can hear me, you can sense when I'm around and I can connect with you, I shouldn't have to talk to that guy. That's kind of something similar. So if you can find a way about their personality or their essence where there's almost like a humorousness to it. But in the same sense, even if they are stubborn in that way, like if you were to say to that medium, even if they weren't picking up on them straight away, I'd love to connect in with this person, they should be able to call them forward. They should be able to connect into their essence and allow them to come forward in one way or another.
Yeah, beautiful. Because I've never done that directly where I've got in just being open to whatever comes through. But I will say that you hit the nail on the head, because that person came through in the message you just said there now, because pure stubbornness and humor, and personality, 100%. It's like, I'm not chatting through this person. It's like,
no way.
That's it. There's the sign. There it is.
Yeah. It's so funny that, isn't it? Their personality stays.
Yeah. It's funny because they're not the same person that they were when they were here. They're something greater than that, but they will always come to us in a way that will make sense to us. But also on that, keep in mind if that is happening for someone, us mediums, we will not pick up on spirits in the way that people would expect them to come through all the time, but we will pick up on them in the way that makes most sense to us. So if this person's kind of got an obscure story or is something that's not very familiar or people wouldn't have seen a lot of, it could be something that they don't pick up on as easily. You could get your weird Uncle Bob and your auntie and your great grandmother coming forward, and they're like, where the hell's this person that I want to hear from? It's like they come through in a way that is more familiar and makes sense to us.
Yeah, I'm really interested to know, do you ever have any loved ones, ancestors come and have a chit chat to you? Just, when you're putting your socks on in the morning or anything?
Well, I think you do have to create some space and time and boundaries with the spirit world. And when I was first opening up, for sure, it would happen out of the blue and I had no control over it. But you really once you have a space and a time and some part of your energy dedicated towards that, those boundaries naturally start to fall into place. But my loved ones, they don't talk to me in the same way that I can talk to other people's loved ones.
Oh, wow.
Anything that's familiar to me, if they're around me all the time, if I know that they're there, and they're so present around me, when I shift my energy to connect, there's nothing out of the ordinary that shows up. There's nothing to pinpoint in my energy that feels like, oh, this is something to follow because it doesn't belong to me, which is what happens when I connect into somebody else's loved ones or into a person. It's like you're feeling into your own energy and seeing what doesn't belong to you and taking it from there. But because my loved ones are always there, it's like I have
You're just bored of them.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm seeing your face light up as you say that, Sean. It's like they're just ever present for you. It seems like there's just, which is beautiful. And if we can all get ourselves to that state of, remembering that they are, and we can tap into them if we choose to, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But the signs that you can ask them for, and that they will deliver. That's, for me, I'm the same. Like, those are the moments I feel the most connected, is where I get a really clear-cut message and sign showing up in the world around me.
So tell us a little bit about that. So whether it's asking for a sign or sign showing up, what does that look like for you or for some of your clients that you work with?
Yeah, I think it is really about like asking and creating the energetic awareness for them to have the opportunity to do that. Just by putting it out, saying, hey, I'd love to see something, take me to show me something that's going to remind me of you. And keep a lookout and wait for something. And when you see it, there'll be just this knowingness in your body that that is a message from them, that is them taking you to that place in time to have that message come through. But the way that I encourage people to do it is to, like, let's do this right now. And we can see what happens. We might even have some signs popping up before the end of the recording, but just close your eyes and think of a particular loved one that you would love to have a proven connection with show up in the world around you. And just allow yourself to remember what it's like to be around them. Remember what their sense of humor, their personality, their presence feels like. And as you do that, they are showing up right next to you, standing with you, and just ask them to show you an image in your mind. And just go with whatever the first thing is. Don't allow it to spiral into 5 different things. Trust the first thing that comes into your mind. And now you can just send them your love and open your eyes back up, bringing back the image, whatever it was, even if it was just a glimpse of an image, even if you just thought of something and there was no image. Trust whatever that symbol that showed up for you was. And sometime over the next 24 hours, maybe 48 hours, that is going to show up somehow in your reality.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. You have to write in and tell us.
Yes, I'm thinking the same.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some amazing stories that happen just from that super simple exercise. And yeah, I love hearing them as well. So I'll be following.
Yeah, we'll definitely be sharing. So
yes,
everybody, when you get them, send them in to us and we'll share them with Sean, we'll share them with everyone. But that is such a beautiful exercise to do, because I've never done it in that way previously. I've either asked for a specific sign, but the fact that it's like, what's the first thing that drops in? And yeah, like I just had a big smile on my face over something goofy, but we'll see if it shows up.
Yeah. It leads it to the intelligence of the spirit world to show you like the most obscure thing in the most crazy way. And that's when it's like, whoa, how the hell did they do that? It's because they've been able to drop in like the most random thing. So yeah, there was one reading I did and I was like, okay, I had a bit of time and I'm like, okay, show me something that you're going to be able to deliver to them. And the weirdest thing came in my mind, it was a little Pokemon, like a little orange Pokemon dinosaur.
Wow.
Like sometimes you get the weirdest things because your mind is playing tricks on you the whole time you're doing a reading as well. So you gotta manage that. But I got this dinosaur, I'm like, whatever, I'm gonna give it to her anyway, and let's hope for the best that this happens somehow. And I was like, she's showing me like a little orange Pokemon dinosaur. I don't know what the hell it means. Never seen Pokemon in my life. Just take it with you and see what comes up. And she was at work and like someone tapped her on the shoulder and picked something up and gave it to her. And they were like, hey, I think this fell out of your bag. Is it yours? And it was a tiny Pokemon sticker of an orange dinosaur Pokemon.
Oh my God. Did she fall on the floor at that point?
She had it stuck on her laptop and she was telling the story a bit later, but it was crazy. Like, how obscure can that be? So whatever, no matter how strange, whatever you just saw was, trust it and wait for it to show up and just be open to it showing up in a way that might not be that exact way. Like it might be, anytime you hear, think, see anything that reminds you of that, just wait and you'll feel it in your body when it comes up.
I've got you're called the 5D medium, firstly. Let's just talk about this 5D thing, because it's everywhere, right? We're in the 3D, we're going to the 5D. Tell us firstly how, what is your definition of the 5D? And when we're speaking to spirit or communicating, where are they? Like, where are we? Where are they?
Okay. So first of all, let's do that end part first. If you reach your fingertips out in front of you, everyone do it. And wiggle your fingers. Right where you're wiggling your fingers, that's about how far away the spirit world is from you.
Ooh,
right now. And
I
all we
love
have
that.
to do is expand our energy that wide for them to be able to communicate with us. Like our auric field, our energy, we have to expand it, and that's the place where they can connect with us. But the 5D mediumship is, to me, like, it's about 5D. To me, it's just about human collective evolving consciously. I think it's pretty simple. I don't think we're going to jump from one earth into another or anything like that. But I think that we are in this time of massive awakening, whether it's showing up in, like, it's showing up in individuals, the light that needs to be shed on things in the world, there's cracks happening. It's like a crazy time, a turbulent time on planet Earth. But we are, on the grand scheme of things, I believe, shifting in frequency. And for me, 5D mediumship is really about like progressive mediumship, not having so much to like prove it to people anymore, not having so much people to show up and have their arms folded and be like, all right, show me what you got, let's see what happens, but about everyone being able to be connected to the spirit world themselves, and everyone being able to understand how they are an energetic being and they have these abilities within them. And it's just about progressive mediumship. I don't like anything too old-fashioned. I don't like anything too restrictive. So that's my way of saying
you're on the right show then, Sean.
Sure you are.
We feel exactly the same. I just love that, because I guess playing it back, but it's like that collective consciousness. It really is just that we're all elevating. So we're tapping into those gifts as more and more. As a species, we're all kind of, the majority of us are doing that. And the more we can hold space for that, that's tapping into the 5D, as opposed to the very, bricks and mortar physical world that we actually inhabit.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just about progressive ways of doing things differently, ways of making things keep moving forward and expanding into new places, because we're shifting.
So talk a little bit, so dig into the word progressive. What does that mean to you? So in your, I guess, the evolution of your mediumship, from when you started out, Liz mentioned about, being 15 years old when you were, waking up to your gifts. What has that, progressiveness been for you, or what's it looking like lately?
Interesting question. It's so funny, like, no matter how far you feel you come, you still always just feel like a beginner, no matter where you are. And especially with anything spiritual, like, you can be like, I'll have days where I'm like, holy shit, I'm on fire, what the hell, this is amazing. And then the next day I'll be like doing a reading for someone, I'm like, I'm really not work, like, what's happened? I need to quit.
Yes.
Never do a reading again.
Bad day at work.
The people there are still having like an incredible experience, but your expectation of yourself, like, it changes. So it never feels like you're actually progressing that much. And it's funny, especially with mediumship, like, I reckon it starts out stronger and clearer than, and as you develop and as you get better at it, the spirit world don't have to use as much energy to get information to you. So it's like, when I used to start, like, I wish it still happened like that, because it was so clear. Sometimes I'd have like a portrait in my mind of the person that I could see very clearly. And as I developed, like, your abilities change, and you have to learn more and more and more to trust in the subtlety, and you can sustain it for longer and you can get more in-depth information, but you feel like it's gone. Like, you feel like, what the hell, what happened?
Liz,
so
can
many
you relate?
days for me, when I'll go, Oh no, it's gone now. No, I'm gonna go back to my day job.
Yeah, that's enough now. I think we've done our
Yeah.
dash.
Oh no, I'm not a medium. What are you talking about? I totally get it. Oh, it's funny. You've got to have a sense of humor in the spiritual game, don't you, Sean?
Absolutely. And I think that's part of the progressive mediumship, is allowing people to bring a bit more joy and humor and less structure to it.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because it's Christmas. You brought up something super interesting before we press record about Christmas being such a great time for us all to connect. Can you share that with everybody?
Yeah. Well, you know how everyone thinks like Halloween is the day where the realm, the
Yeah.
spirit world is finished. I don't buy into that at all. I don't think like Halloween really truly represents the spirit world in any way. But I know it goes back to further traditions, but I truly believe that Christmas and like the holidays is the time where the spirit world, the veil between us and the spirit world, becomes the thinnest. And that's because like you've got such a massive percentage of the world's population thinking and calling out, even if they don't know they're calling out, to all of their loved ones, drawing them in, saying, I wish they were here, I wish they're around. And the spirit world gathers so much because of that collective power of everyone thinking that and wishing for their loved ones to be closer. So Christmas is a powerful, powerful time for your loved ones to be able to show themselves to you, to pop up in unexpected ways, and for you to be able to try not to allow yourself to feel that sadness and the heaviness that they're not there, but try and trust that they are there and allow yourself to reconnect with them so that they can show themselves to you.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, so, so beautiful. Is there just a story, just out of interest, Sean, from whether it, was really early days for you, or something that just happened yesterday, a story of a connection that, just really stands out and you remember?
Yes, for sure. So I actually have this right in front of me, this one card that I've kept because it's one of my favorite stories ever. And it was quite a long time ago, and I was working on Malvern Road in Melbourne in one of the spiritual shops. People just walk in for a reading, and that was a whole other story. But one time this lady came in and she's like, I don't believe in any of this. I don't think that there's validity to this. I don't know why I'm here, but I just had to be here, just had to talk to you. I'm at a last resort. And she was just in a really dark, heavy place in her life. And she, as soon as I started, I'm like, oh, great, this is going to be hard work, because she doesn't believe in any of it. She's going to pull everything I say apart. But immediately her father was coming through so strong and so powerfully. And she literally started to like have almost like a panic attack because she was just so overwhelmed. She didn't believe in it. And it's like, here he is, he's here. But at the end, she was like, I just need to know for myself, like, how can I just know 100% that you haven't been able to find this somehow? You haven't been able to trick me into this, or like, there was no way. But I just said, okay. And I just ran her through that exercise that we just did of asking them to show you a symbol.
Yeah.
And she just said, I just see my dad's hands holding onto mine. And I was like, okay, well, just wait for something to show up. Wait for a message to show up somehow, and it's going to remind you of that. And it's going to be something that's amazing to you when it does. I was like, come on, Spirit, again, like, how is this one going to come through? It's going to be a really good one. But that morning, I had grabbed like a deck of cards that I hadn't used in over a year. I was like, I'm going to take these today. And I hadn't used them all day, and there was like 5 minutes left of our session. I'm like, let's pull the card to finish up, see what happens. And I picked up this deck and started shuffling. And this card, like, I've never seen anything like it. It was like this card got pulled out of the deck and placed on the table face up. And I'll try and get it here because it's got the background on, but you can see this. The card
Oh,
says
yeah.
a father's love, and it's got a photo of a father holding his daughter's hands with a flower
Wow.
around them.
Oh, I got
And
shivers.
I don't even know, the lady in my heart is like
I know
pounding for this.
it was like one of those moments where I just was reminded of the power of the spirit world.
Mm.
Like that wasn't me. I don't take responsibility for any of that. Like she saw it and it just got pulled out and landed. But that was like, that just reminded me so much of how incredible and how orchestrated the spirit world can be. And I hadn't used these cards in ages, and she didn't book in until the last minute. Like she came in, took the last appointment of the day, but her dad knew that he was going to drag her in there. He was going to get me to bring those cards. He was going to get her to ask. I still don't believe it. How can I know for sure? And that this card was going to be pulled out, and they planned stuff like that. So you just got to trust in the magic of the spirit world. And yeah, I gave away that deck of cards, but I held on to that one, and I put it amongst another deck that I do use, and now it pops out often when somebody's father's here to connect with them.
Oh, so it has a continuing association for you too.
Yeah.
That it keeps recurring. That it's like the gift that keeps on giving.
Exactly.
Oh gosh, that's just my heart. I swear to God, is just so ready to burst when I hear these stories. And it doesn't matter to me that I don't know the people directly involved. I just think that they're all signs that it is, that they are out there, that it is possible to connect to them. I need to ask a heavy question, and I've been holding off on this, but it's for some of us, when our loved ones pass, it's not, there's never an ideal circumstance of when to go. But if it is a really tragic circumstance, or maybe even someone has chosen to take their own life, is there anything in that is treated differently or connects differently, in the spirit realm, just for anyone who is touched by this in their own life? That, is there a message in that for them, or what has your experience been connecting to people on the other side?
Yeah, well, it's like, I've never met a spirit who was carrying trauma, carrying pain, carrying any kind of heaviness. But when they present themselves to us, the memories of their life come to us, and we have our own human reaction to it. And a lot of people will associate with that and go, they're sad, they're heavy, they're carrying all this pain. But it's not the case. That's our own emotional reaction to the memory of what happened to them here. But the people who take their own lives, they don't get treated any differently. They don't get punished. Mental health, it's like any other sickness. It's something that people don't have control over. And of course, it's such a sensitive topic, and it's such a difficult conversation to have. But yeah, there's no way that people should feel that any one of their loved ones who have unfortunately had that horrible circumstance happen, that they're being punished, or they're in pain, or that they're still carrying any of that heaviness from their life here, because they're not. It's just something that they'll choose to learn and grow through in another experience that they'll have.
I love that, because it is the fact that if you're saying they're not carrying, what none of us want is, like, we feel the pain here, we're the ones left behind, but we don't want them carrying any sort of pain or trauma through with them. And I love that you're reminding us that, we're still in human form, so we'll still have that emotional association with things, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're still experiencing whatever pain they were going through. So there's a lot of comfort and beauty in what you've just said, that, that if there is someone who has had tragic circumstances or a very sudden death that they weren't expecting to pass, it's just comforting to know that there isn't something different awaiting them on the other side. Yes, lots of, if you believe in multiple reincarnations as I do, then there'll be another life experience that's waiting on you with different things to learn and different experiences. But for that moment of transition, there's nothing different for them. They're still at peace.
Yeah, absolutely. And our souls before we come into this life, it sets us up for some pretty freaking huge challenges to get through. Like
bloody life school, huh?
yeah,
Why do we choose
place
this
is a
bit?
school. None of us read the fine print on this place, did we?
God.
Signed and said, yeah, let's go.
I know, right?
So can we dig into that a little? Because I do think that not every, I think when you're in the spiritual community for a while, we kind of take that for granted, you know, the earth school and we come back, or, you know, multiple incarnations, but not necessarily everybody. If you're starting out in your spiritual journey or you've stumbled on this podcast for the first time, then what can you share with us some of your, whether it's your personal beliefs or, you know, what are some of the, you know, the general thoughts around that at the moment, that when we incarnate, when we choose to come to life on earth and be born into these bodies that we find ourselves in today?
Yes, well, I do find that, like, especially for people who are brand new to this whole world, it's a really tough pill to swallow, that some of the horrible things that happen in this world and some of the like some of those terrible, terrible, tragic things, our soul knows that that's what happens here and signs up for it anyway. And it is like unimaginable to have that happen to someone so close to you, and then there's no way to justify it, and then people aren't able to really see it from that perspective. And it takes a lot of time to actually try and embody that belief of like, this place is a school. And if you think about like the vast eternal nature of our soul, this lifetime, like what, 85 years, 100 if you're really lucky, like that little amount of time is just a blip in the eternity of your soul. And when we're here, we feel like everything is so important. Every little thing that we're going to do is going to create this ripple effect into our entire lives. And that's the nature of this place. But your soul doesn't hold that same weight to the heaviness that is of this world. Your soul sees opportunity to experience, to grow, to go through this wild roller coaster ride and try and expand and learn something and experience some different form in that small amount of time. So I think we need a whole podcast episode for that one.
Definitely.
I know, right?
Note to self, Liz, we need to.
Yes. To wrap up this section of what we're talking about here, I've got one last question, and it is about this thing around time. You know, as humans, we've come up with this idea that there's this thing called time, and you know, we're always looking at the clock and racing through. But from the perspective of when we lose somebody close to us, it is so hard for us to wrap around that we've got to go through this huge, long life, you know, every day living without them. Yet on the other side, to me, I feel like it's just that split second. And I wonder, you know, if sometimes we find ourselves thinking, are they grieving or missing me? You know, are they waiting for me? Whereas really, they're probably just having fun and they're just kind of waiting for us. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I think like they, of course, want to show as much as they possibly can how much their love remains and how much they care about us. But I do definitely feel that 10 years here probably feels like 5 minutes in the spirit world. It feels like eternity, but also feels like a split second as well. So I don't think that time works in the same way. And I do feel it is it's a ego concept. We have to make sense of like past, present, future, and nothing other than that does make sense. And it's one of those things that we will never truly be able to comprehend until we are back in that form that is able to understand and know the truth of everything.
And I'm sure at that point, some of us will kick ourselves and be like, oh, bloody hell, I should have just got on with it. I should have gone had more of an adventure.
Yes, we all need to take note of that. So from today, yes, go out. Let's not take it so seriously. It's a blip in the radar. Learn what we can, but make the most of it.
Exactly.
Wow, I mean, God, we could just talk to you for hours, Sean. I've got so many more questions. But obviously, you are here for a very special reason. And I just want to take a moment just to thank you from all of us, all of our listeners, wherever they are in the world. We've got listeners in 74 countries, I believe, at the moment. So I think everyone is going to be just taking so much from everything you've said. So thank you so, so much.
Oh, thank you.
Sean, I'm going to hand over to you. You are the expert here, and let's see what the hell happens, hey? Over to you, Sean.
Wait, what's happening? I had no idea this was going on.
Putting you on the spot.
Anything can happen
right.
on the channel.
Let's see what happens. Well, before I do get started, everyone, just, keep in mind, when I shift my awareness to them, I've got no idea what the hell is going to happen. Expect the unexpected, like I said. Alrighty, let me see where I go straight away. So as I shift my awareness to the spirit world, I do feel this lady coming forward and joining me. And there's something very funny about this lady. She's got this very quirky presence. She's quite a bossy lady, I think, but I know she's very loving, very family orientated, but she's got quite a direct sort of nature to her. And she's funny in a way that's unintentional. There's just something funny about her essence. I know that she would have been a very independent lady and would have been able to look after herself. And I can feel that even as her ailments, as her pain were bothering her more and more, she would still push herself to try and do everything, keep the house in order, go and get her groceries. She's showing me that she's someone who didn't have a lot in her life, but she's showing me some really beautiful jewelry that she cherished, that has been passed down to people that she loves and someone who she is here to connect with today. And she's especially taking my attention to a ring that I believe would be of significance. And I get this feeling with her that she would have had, and I'm not saying this is what she passed from, but I feel she would have had a cough and congestion around her lungs before she passed away. So is anyone able to understand her so far? Okay, we've got Tracy and Simone as well. So let me keep working with her and see. I feel that she puts roses into my mind. There's like flowers, references to roses that are quite significant. I feel like a numbness in my legs. So I feel there would have been some real significant issues with that. And there would have to be a significant M connection with her as well. I'm not quite sure where to place it. Yeah, I do feel it's a M-A-R sounding name, but I'm seeing lots of hands come up, so let me keep on going. She is very much taking my attention here with her heart. I feel there was congestion. I feel her body was shutting down in many different ways, but she put up a really good fight. So I do feel very, very drawn to you, Tracy. So let me see how I'm going with you. If you could take yourself off of mute and let me know what resonates so far.
Pretty much everything.
Everything.
So far. The rings, the heart, the legs, everything.
Beautiful. Okay.
I'm shaking.
Oh, I feel this lady is not one who expresses her love as much as she shows it. And I feel that she maybe struggled to get those words out sometimes to say, I love you so much, but that's the first thing that she wants to say to you today. And I feel she really wants to acknowledge somebody's birthday. Do you understand? Do you recognize? Either just been or coming up. Actually, no, sorry, she's taking me to something else. The birthday may be a connection to her that she passed away very, very close to somebody's birthday, a significant birthday.
Yeah, she did.
Okay. In that case, would it make sense that within her last few days here, she wasn't very conscious? The last 4 days, she was kind of in and out of consciousness a little bit.
No.
No? Okay. Well, there's keep in mind, like there's 2 days that she's bringing into my mind, 2 days. It feels very significant. So Might be
Oh,
related.
wait. Okay. I think the MAR, it's not the person who I thought of, it's the MAR.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, they're probably both here coming forward
They yeah.
but I feel very maternal with you.
Yeah.
So it's your mum.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know that she is saying that your mum's the bossy one, isn't she? Yeah. Because she's saying that she's been watching you like shuffle things around your house lately and watching you do work around your house, and she's saying she can't stand that she can't throw her 2 cents in about what she thinks should be done. Does that make sense to you? You've been doing a lot and trying to arrange some things, put things in different places, because she's showing me that she's been watching over you. And she's saying, I've got your dog with me. I've got your dog with me. Oh, I've got the dog with me. Would you recognize this like small gray,
Oh my God.
shaggy kind of dog?
That's my dog here.
Oh,
Oh my God.
so if she's bringing up a dog that's here, it means that she's able to get your attention through that dog.
Oh my God.
Look out for your dog, like interacting with something that you can't see, or barking with no trigger, because she's showing that dog to me and saying, I'm with that dog, it can see me. So
I tell that dog all the time that he's my mum. Come back to me. I tell him all the time.
Wow. So there's that soul connection with her and this dog, and I feel she's here, but I do feel she brought that dog into your life.
Yeah.
And she's pointing out and saying
that's the reason we got him.
Oh,
was
beautiful.
To fill the hurting space.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, I know your mum. She's also putting music into my mind and saying that she connects to you through music. I feel that's really important with her, and I feel like she just put on her music and sit in her chair and just belt it out.
Yeah.
I sound like her. Like when she was in her own space, she'd just be happy to just sit, put on her favorite music. And there's like this man with a deep voice that I can hear singing. I don't think I can recognize it, but she's trying to show me like her favorite music. Do you recognize what that would be?
Yeah.
Really beautiful, deep male singer.
Yeah.
And she's showing me that she's like been throwing some coins around as well. So look out for if you find any coins lying around, or she's funny because I feel she's saying, I was definitely not the type to do that when I was here.
No.
She's very smart with her money. She very much like knew the value of $1, and I feel she lived within her means as much as she possibly could. But she wants to say thank you for everything you did for her. I feel that there was a lot that she just is super grateful for, and she's taking me to her final moments, and you must have been with her as she passed, is that right? Because she's saying you were there holding on to my right hand side, and you gave me permission to let go. And thank you so much, because I needed that. I couldn't let go. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Beautiful. And is it Mary or Margaret that's with her? Mary.
My maternal grandma, her mum.
And the rings that you have, the jewelry, it's come through all of them, hasn't it? Because they're both both around you, and they're both bringing up that jewelry, and they're saying Betty's here as well. Betty, do you know who that is?
No.
Betty. Okay, I wonder if Betty's a gate crasher. Let me leave all of their love with you, please. I feel there's so much coming through from them, and I feel others here who really want to want you to know that they're with you as well. But you know, your mum is the most important one to talk today. And look out for butterflies. That feels massive.
Yeah.
So I'll leave her love with you there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, my pleasure. But let me work with this lady coming through now, who feels just like the most sweet lady, the most gentle-natured, beautiful-hearted woman. I know she's showing me all of these things that she made. She's showing me cushions that she specifically would have made that I feel is still in the family. And I feel that she's wanting to recognize a younger male who is with her in the spirit world. That would have been very close, like a man who passed before his time. So we've got different hands popping up, right? Let me keep on going. I feel there is very much a connection to pearls that she's putting into my mind. Pearl earrings, jewelry. I see gardening as well. I feel like she would have loved that. I feel like she would have been in the kitchen, always baking. She just feels really like a domestic goddess. Like that was where she thrived. And she's showing me specifically like a crumble or fruit cake type thing that people would have always loved for her to make. And always would have requested whenever she could, because she's kind of like pulling something out of the oven and saying, look, got a fresh one for you.
I know we've got Sarah that's nodding to everything right now.
And
All right.
Lorna had her hand up too.
Okay.
All right, who's got like 90% or more?
Right.
Okay,
Then you can
Sarah.
maybe unmute yourself, Sarah.
Yeah. Let me know how we're doing.
Hi.
Hi.
So would be my grandmother, I'm thinking, because she used to make patchwork quilts and cushions and like door stoppers. The young male that would be with her would be the son that was come after my brother that she'd lost, who I yeah. Anyway, sorry, I won't ramble. And yeah, well, pretty much everything else. But I just wrote down crumble because, well, she was always in the kitchen. She was always cooking, always doing
Always
something.
making.
Yeah,
Feels like sweets especially was like her specialty.
yeah. So she had a lolly jar. Like she was always known. To be honest, we weren't overly close, but
Okay.
yeah, it was known to her to go to get lollies and sweets and things. But I've written down crumble because I want to ask my dad if he.
All right.
Yeah.
Take it with you. And I do feel that there is a message around pregnancy coming forward with this woman at the moment. I feel that she's wanting to acknowledge that she's a part of bringing something into this world and helping you with that. I feel I'm not sure if you exactly, but
Oh, you have no idea.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, I feel even if she wasn't incredibly close with you here, she wants you to know that she is helping and she's your support from the other world, especially when it comes to that. And she knows the pain that you've been through so far.
Oh, wow. Yeah, wow. Okay. I really feel that. Yeah.
Okay.
That
Beautiful.
resonates a lot.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I feel that's where I'm bouncing around and need
Yeah.
to end. So trust that she is
Thank
with
you.
you. And everyone, like sometimes it happens in this way where everyone will get a little bit of a message. And the spirit world will come forward in a way where they'll be able to get to a lot of people at once. So if at some point you really felt that could have been for you, trust that was a part of your loved one connecting in with you there. But I will leave her love and support, especially with you, Sarah. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, I definitely want to acknowledge, I've had this, I'm gonna say it, I've had this like husky following me around all day. This big wolfy kind of dog that I feel really wants to come through. And I feel like this dog was a family member, was like heartbreaking to lose, as it always is with animals. But I really feel that this dog has been trying to get my attention all day for someone who's here. And I know that it's showing me like his companion, his loved one, I wasn't actually sure if it was a boy or a girl, but I'm saying his, so I'm going to go with that. Holding onto his paw as he passed away to the spirit world and rubbing his paw. So would anyone understand that big dog, that big long-haired husky, could be like a German shepherd, something like that, but it's a big dog and would have had to have been put down and would have had someone with it as it was passing away, holding onto its paw. I see that this dog would have been like struggling walking towards the end, like taking a few steps and then falling down. Specifically like a problem with the back right leg. I hear like this "r" sound with this dog's name.
Yeah, Tara.
Tara.
Yeah.
Tara. All right, Tara. And it's a man
Yeah,
that
who's
being very connected to her that you would hope to hear from, who
yeah.
would it make sense? He would have been someone who was not a believer in this whatsoever.
Oh God, no. No.
It's
No.
his fault.
Yeah. No.
in this file. So
Yeah.
sometimes, like I said, with their personality, if they don't want to show up and they're a bit standoffish, they're going to come through in that same way. And I feel this dog like literally dragging this person forward.
Like through.
Yeah. But, like, he's got his arms folded and he doesn't
Like,
want to.
come on. Yeah.
But I do feel like even though a very stubborn man and a very structured man, I feel like a really gentle warmth to him as well. And I feel like a real cheeky sense of humor. I feel like he's the biggest larrikin, loves to play jokes on people, loves to play tricks on people. And would it make sense to you that like he just couldn't bear to be without this dog?
Oh no. Yeah, 100% makes sense. Yeah. And he was such a beautiful man. Like like a grandfather to me, to be honest.
Yeah. And like a very intellectual man as well. Very smart, very much someone who loves learning, loves history, I feel. Just feel like he was always absorbing information and loved information. I feel that he was someone who was quite a loner in a sense throughout his life. Does that make sense to you? Like he was quite happy in his own space, pottering around, doing his own thing. He was quite comfortable doing that. But I do feel that there were a lot of people around him and a lot of love that he felt in his life. And I feel that even though his passing was something that was, people saw it coming or people knew that it was on its way, it still feels like it happened at a time where it all just happened and people were surprised to hear the news. People were surprised that it got the one who did. But he's showing me that he is back with like his buddy, back with his brother. There's a real close man.
Actually I think so. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. He looked a lot like his brother, actually.
Right. There must have been a big gap between their passings as well, because I feel he's wanting people to know that he reunited with this person. And I know he wants to very much send his love to you and know that he is still checking in. And I feel that you tried to tell him about this whole world of things at times, or you tried to open his mind, but he would just no, it's a load of woo-woo, don't believe in it.
Pretty much, yeah.
And he's saying now, I didn't like to admit that I was wrong, but
no,
I was wrong on this one.
but I'm okay now.
He's definitely okay. And I feel like Tara was the one to stubbornly drag him forward to connect with you. So.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you.
My pleasure. So he's always also very much with you. So I'll leave his love with you there as well. It's so funny how that happens. Like I think I'm moving on, and then it's still with the same person. Like it was the same trail, but I do feel this young man coming forward, and I can see tattoos I feel that there is multiple meanings to this. Like, he's got tattoos of his own, but he's also showing me someone's had a tattoo done in his honor, like right on their arm, since he has passed. I feel that he's really like fun, charismatic, adventurous soul. I feel like he's someone who would have tried anything twice. Is the way it comes through to me. He would have like just been a thrill seeker, but I do feel with him like a really a struggle with his mental health throughout his life. I feel like he really was burdened with some pain and with some issues on that level that not everyone was able to see. So Simone, you can understand him so far.
Yes, I can.
Okay, beautiful. I do feel like a very like a loving connection with you and this guy. I feel like his face lights up when he sees you. And I know that there is this element of tell her I'm sorry that she didn't know about everything. Because I feel that you were supporting him as much as you could, but he kept you at a distance towards the end. Now, I do feel that he comes forward with this sense of responsibility for how he passed away. And I don't know if he doesn't want to go into it, but I feel like he's just saying, I lost myself. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. And I do see him showing me like substance issues as well as he comes forward. But again, he doesn't want to go into that. He's a really fun person. He's a really like a real character, and he is silly, and he's like jumping up and down on the bed next to me, being like, look, I'm okay, I'm finally. He's just relieved that he's able to connect with you and let you know that he is okay, and that he's not carrying that heaviness and that pain anymore. I feel that he's been able to make his way into your dreams often. And he says sometimes he comes and like touches the hair on your head. You might feel like a tickle. You might feel just like a sensation on your hair. And know that that's his way of trying to get your attention as well. And I feel there is a significance of the beach, the ocean. Do you understand that at all?
Yeah, there is a beach connection.
Okay. There's a reference to part of his ceremony being done at this beach. People going there to honor him, people going there and taking him with them. Take that with you. I'm not sure where else to go with it, but he's trying to bring up this connection to the beach. And I know he is saying, tell her how sorry I am for the trauma and the tragedy that everyone went through when I died. Because he's just saying he lost control. I just feel that's the only way that he says it. And I feel too this connect. Do you recognize the tattoo on somebody's right arm?
I think it might be his mum, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. And I feel it's got his like name on it, and also something of significance, like I feel she might have had like a butterfly done for him as well. Or there's a connection to this butterfly that she's showing me. He is showing me, sorry. And he's saying she doesn't know, it's talking about you moving. He's saying that she doesn't know yet that she's moving.
Okay.
Is it something that you've been considering, or a thought that has come to mind that you're going to move soon?
Not locations, but change careers.
Okay. He's saying like she doesn't know what's going to happen, but there's a big move on its way, a big change. And he is like a part of that and watching over you and looking after you throughout that process. And I feel he's also wanting to acknowledge like this small, light colored dog as well. It's like a little white dog or a little creamy colored dog. Do you recognize that dog?
Yeah, she's my dog.
She's your dog, okay. Another one where he's able to get your attention through her. So look
Okay.
out for that, and just know that he's present for everything, and he's so proud of who you are and who you've become. And he's saying, thank you for everything you did for me, and I'm sorry that I kept you at a distance towards the end. That makes sense.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you so much. I'll leave his love with you there. Thank
Wow.
you so much, everyone. And yeah, like the lady said, if you didn't get a direct message, doesn't mean that your loved ones have something better to do. It just means that now is not the time and place for them to come forward, but trust that they will, trust that they're going to get those messages to you. And yeah, hopefully you've been able to feel your loved ones throughout other people's connections too.
Wow. Thank you so much, Sean. That was just beautiful to watch and interesting
beautiful.
to watch as well. And where you kind of go and your body movements and, how your messages come. That was just beautiful. So thank you on behalf of all of us. That was super special. And I
Yeah.
just have to ask, are you writing a book or are you planning to write a book?
The idea is definitely there, and I've got a lot of things that I set myself up to, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's another one that I add
Yeah,
to the list very soon.
It was coming to me the entire time through, and then I just realized as I went to say it out loud that about 3 days ago, I was also told that you were going to write a book. So I don't know, maybe
Oh,
it needs to
okay.
just come to me first. Okay,
No.
I'll send
Thank
you the
you.
address.
Thank you. I'll definitely
Oh.
put you in the commission notes as well.
Yes.
So there's your message coming through, Sean.
Thank you.
You're not
Thank
leaving
you.
empty-handed.
Right.
It's a beautiful exchange.
That's it. Oh, thank you. For all of our listeners, I'm sure you have enjoyed that as much as us. And Sean does some incredible things, if whether or not you want to reach out to him for a reading, to do one of his programs or workshops, we will put all of his contact details in the show notes. So definitely head to Instagram for a start, because he does some super interesting videos and stuff there. And yeah, it's just been really educational, actually, Sean, today. So thank you so, so much.
Thank you guys so much for having me, and I've loved every minute of it, and so lovely to connect you guys with your loved ones. Yeah.
Amazing. And happy Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Yeah.
That's it for another episode.
Thank you for listening. Did you know that we are building a movement of 1 million people who are spiritual as fuck? We would love for you to join us. You can start by leaving us a review on Apple Podcast. Every month, I'm going to intuitively choose one person and do a psychic reading for you. So
Follow us on Instagram, send in your stories and topic suggestions, and join the movement
at spiritual.a.f. Until next time.
This is a Guide Your Light Network production, creating podcasts with purpose.